This issue, we are joined by Mamabolo, the Deputy Chief Electoral Officer. Thank you very much for joining us, sir.
Thank you very much.
Now, straight to the story of the day. Can you give us an update on the special voting? Because we mentioned earlier that there were some hiccups there. What exactly is going on at this point in time?
Well, the process of special votes has concluded. The special votes, which are now in ballot boxes, are in safe custody. They will go back to the stations for reconciliation tomorrow and then voted with the rest of the ballots that will be cast tomorrow. So that brings a closure to this element of the electoral process.
Mr. Mamabolo, one of the issues that have caught the eye, or the headlines as it were, in the last little bit, the officials that have been dismissed. Can you give us a quick overview what those incidents are and what those dismissals were for?
Well, there are three cases where presiding officers, in the one case, was urging a voter to vote for a particular political party. We found that to have been a capital infraction which required summary dismissal. In the second instance, it's a presiding officer who was using a vehicle that is apparently known to have been used in the campaign by a political party. Again, that presiding officer has been summarily dismissed. And then in the other case, in Etumeni, we have an official who appeared to have interfered with the ballot box. Again, that matter in particular is before the police for investigation, but we felt that it's important that we summarily remove that person from the electoral process, because we need to ensure that the process remains free of irregularities. Or at least where they occur, we take decisive action and ensure that the process works well as it should in terms of the regulated procedures.
Now, Mr. Mamabolo, you've just taken us through some of the challenges and maybe hiccups, but for the most part, you've mentioned that special voting has gone on well and as you expected. Is it safe to say this is a good omen, that the big day will go as well tomorrow?
Yes, the 2 days were very important to us. They provided us a unique opportunity for refinement, and that refinement must do us good tomorrow. So tomorrow, it's all systems go. We are ready. 2 years of preparation culminating in a festival of political choices.
One of the other stories or issues that's come forward is about the two IEC tents burnt overnight in Freedom Park. They've been replaced. Voting in that area, you expect it to continue as normally when we start in the morning?
Certainly. Those two tents were replaced. Special votes that ought to have happened there did in fact happen today. Meetings were held with the community leaders, and they will allow the process to proceed tomorrow with no hindrance.
Take us through the logistical plans, some of the key logistical plans that you have in place to ensure that voting runs smoothly tomorrow.
Well, first of all, presiding officers will be in action from about 4 a.m. in the morning to collect their materials at municipal storages. They'll be escorted by either the police or the metro police departments, and they'll drive together with area managers to specific voting station, do the necessary preparations, demarcate the boundary of the voting station in consultation with party agents if present, and they must get started at 7.
Mr. Mamabolo, I see some interesting tidbits coming out. For instance, the foreign observers that are in the country. Tell us how important it is to have foreign observers here in South Africa, and what role, if you can explain to us, will they be playing within the process that we've seen?
Well, the role of observers is critical to any electoral process because they provide an independent oversight over the electoral process. So their role is to go observe whether our presiding officers are implementing the procedures as they should, whether voters are not being intimidated, whether party agents are given the space to do their work within voting stations. And they will give us a verdict of their opinion vis-a-vis the totality of the electoral process. Of course, they can't be at every voting station, but they will cover sufficient voting station to give them an overall perspective on a sampling basis.
Now, Mr. Mamabolo, staying on the sentiment of observing, we understand that a few of the political leaders were here today. Julius Malema was here. He gave the processes a thumbs up, but most importantly, also President Jacob Zuma was here as well, and he had only good things to say about this. What is your sense of the sentiments around what political party leaders specifically are saying about the process going forward?
Well, we are really appreciative of that positive sentiment. We believe that we will need the leaders of political parties to play their role to safeguard the integrity of the process, because this is not just about the Electoral Commission, it's also about political leadership, not just leading your own party, but providing leadership for the whole country. And those positive sentiments will surely contribute to the delivery of a credible electoral process.
You talk about for the whole country and the whole country coming together, but it's also very important for stability in the region, in SADC, in the wider sub-Saharan Africa, for South Africa to continue the tradition of stability.
Well, we need stability for many things. We need stability for the much-needed recovery of the economy. Because if this election process does not work, it may just stagnate our economy further. But we also need stability to make a positive contribution to the development of the SADC region, both in terms of economic movement of goods, but also for the political integration of the region. So it's quite important that we don't only look at this election in terms of our own narrow sectarian interests, but we relate what we say, what we do to the total development of our economy, but again also of the region broadly.
Now, let's look at, well, based on your stats and previous elections, which districts do you think are going to declare results first?
Well, the districts that will declare Robben Island, amongst others, because of the number of voters there. There are stations as well in northern KwaZulu-Natal. I think it's in the areas around the Umfolozi Game Reserve, where they'll close earlier than normal. And we expect a result early there. Overall, I expect the Northern Cape voting districts to declare results earlier. We know that it's not the most populous of provinces compared to the rest, so they'll move with speed to declare results.
And then on the flip side, the ones who are expected to come in the latest?
I expect the metros, because of pure densities. Presiding officers will be counting a lot more in metros than they would elsewhere in the country. So all the 8 metros will probably be the last to declare by Friday afternoon.
Just to conclude, Mr. Mamabolo, is there this what we can call healthy competition amongst presiding officers to kind of be the first to declare? Is there something like that within the IEC officials?
Well, yes, there is, because it's almost a coveted prize to be the first to declare a result. But we encourage them to compete with caution, because you do not want a mistake to creep in the haste to declare first.
Mr. Mamabolo, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you very much for joining us. We look forward to speaking to you as the week goes on, and especially tomorrow, which is that big day.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mamabolo. Yes, we're counting down. We're in the final few hours. Of course, this is the last live broadcast tomorrow morning. Morning Live will start a little bit earlier. They'll start at 5 a.m. with Peter and Leanne bringing you the build-up, the last hour